Hello, I'm Laura, and it is Sunday, May 25th, 2025, and we are in the middle of the Memorial Day weekend here in the U.S., and I hope having a nice Sunday wherever you may be in the world. Our neighbors are out in the back enjoying the beautiful weather we are having here outside of Kansas City. And I am thinking of how rich and wonderful life is. In the Daily Heartline this week, our theme is peace. And one of the ways we can experience peace in ourselves is to feel a sense of our own well-being. In the headlines this week, we see that singer and songwriter Billy Joel has stepped back from his concert appearances, and of course this is disappointing and concerning to his fans, but it is really good news in that he is willing to take care of himself, having been diagnosed with a rare condition of hydrocephalus in his brain, something my mother struggled with off and on for many years. So it's good that Billy Joel is taking care of himself. And our prayers reach out to Joe Biden as well, who has had a serious diagnosis of metastatic cancer. And so we pray for others in our hearts and hold them in the light, and know that as we get in touch with our own well-being, we share the light and love of our own wholeness with them. And in so doing, we find the compassion to encourage them along the way through our good thoughts and prayers, and maybe even in words. But we also find compassion for ourselves and our well-being. We become more aware of what it is we can do to practice our wholeness. Myrtle Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, has put forth the idea that there is a divine law of health, a divine law of health. And she says this law is threefold: spiritual, mental, and physical. And so as I look to her book, this is an older edition of her healing letters, I find her words on these three parts of the law, and I'm going to paraphrase them a bit for you, but let the ideas that she speaks come across. She says, one who remembers and lives by the spiritual promises of the law of health will not worry or seek to manage other people's affairs or neglect to feed his or her soul with that which is necessary to keep unfolding toward spirit. She says, one who is aware of the mental side of his or her health seeks to keep him or herself free from the limitations of prejudices and opinions and demands of others. So we have the spiritual and mental part of health, but what of the physical? She says, one who is determined that his or her physical life will show forth the peace and order of spiritual reality and divine intelligence is considerate of the body and careful in demands upon it. Such a person finds time to rest, to exercise, to feed the body well, and to develop these practices into daily habits. And so as we awaken the divine law of health within us, we can pause And take a deep breath. And close our eyes and listen to these 3 statements. Then take each one to heart and let it fill our being and our body. I breathe in peace and breathe out fear and anxiety. And take that breath of peace and breathing out anxiety. Our next statement. I breathe in clarity and wisdom and breathe out limiting prejudices and opinions of myself and others. And so breathe in that clarity and wisdom and breathe out those limiting prejudices and opinions. And finally, I breathe in determination and breathe out excuses and procrastination. And so breathe in that determination and breathe out those excuses and procrastination so that you can fulfill the habits that are healthy for you. And so it is. As you develop your greater well-being, a peace awakens in you that radiates through you and to others. It shows up as compassion, as kind words, as prayer, and as actions that demonstrate for others how much you care about them. And so we hold Billy Joel and former President Biden and anyone in our lives who is seeking healing in our hearts and prayers as we find that peace within by taking care of our own well-being, spiritually, mentally, and physically. Thank you for being with me today, and I look forward to joining you in future days as we look at ways to practice peace within and to share it with our world. Have a wonderful day.